Okay, everybody, how you doing? We are a go-go from Jeff the Ref, sporting a dapper orange and white number for the final of the Dwarven preliminations, as we have the forces of Thorek Ironbrow on the left and Belegar Ironhammer on the right. Which of these two finalists are going to win and represent their faction in the grand tournament? Well, Thorek has chosen a force of Dwarf Warriors. Dwarf Warriors are great weapons. Another Dwarf Warriors are great weapons. A Thane, a Flame Cannons unit, a first for this series. A unit of Rangers of great weapons, two of them actually. Thorek himself, obviously. A unit of Dwarf Warriors, and a unit of Gyrocopters sporting the Burny Hot Death of the Brimstone guns. Across from him, on this Battle of Karak Ungor, we have a Thane, Belegar himself, a Miners unit, a Bolt Thrower, but interestingly, a Grudge Thrower, in fact, a pair of Grudge Throwers, a unit of Longbeards, another Thane, a Iron Drakes, the all-important Iron Drakes, another unit of Miners, some Rangers of Great Weapons, and Quarrelers. Belegar has a much more high-focused damage force here, but he's going to be relying a lot on his own artillery. Thorek's going to have to get in close and personal to nullify the effect of that artillery, but let's see how badly they maul them before they get close. Also, the two Thanes are an interesting choice. Having two hero melee specialists like this could be a big factor, could stall a lot of Thorek's units, as we see the bolt throwers thrown. But there go the first of the lobbers there. Basically, the grudge throwers. Lobbers are a greenskin name. Getting some of those Dwarf Warriors, some early casualties, very important. The Flame Cannons are shorter range artillery, so they're having to move up into position. They essentially work as a kind of fire mortar, but there we go. They've started to rain down destruction at early shots. Not too effective. Not seen so closely casualties. There we go, there's the first hit. Decent number of casualties there. Looks like he's quite rightly trying to hit the enemy front line, try to disrupt that force, but it's not having a huge effect at the moment. Good hit on the bolt thrower, sorry, on the grudge thrower on that one. Didn't actually kill any of the crew. A triple shot. Bit more effective. This this Longbeards, the poor Longbeards, every time they get picked on. Definitely starting to rack up a few casualties on that unit. Let's see, Thorek's forces have taken a bit of a pacing, but there's the Iron Drakes getting some flamers in, and they did some phenomenal damage to the Dwarf Warriors of great weapons there. Let's see if they can get any subsequent shots. They are the most important force, I would say, before the melee is fully joined. The Miners getting involved. There goes the Thane. Belegar hanging back. Interesting choice there. Brimstone guns flying over, quite rightly trying to disrupt the grudge throwers, who are still active, not losing any of the crew. Interesting choice. We've already had a Dwarf Warriors of Thorek's force break and run. It looks like the Gyrocopters are taking some shots there from the Dwarf Rangers with great weapons, as they're just lobbing axes at the Gyrocopters. An interesting visual, to say the least. Dwarf Warriors with great weapons from Thorek's force is starting to retreat. Iron Drakes are just blasting fire, and it looks like they're hitting the Thane, but I think there's some residual shots going into the Dwarf Warriors of great weapons. We've got the Rangers over there trying to assist. It looks like Belegar, has finally gotten involved. Thorek's just running around at the back of his force. Oh, there goes a Gyrocopter. Their morale is broken. They're going to have to flee in a second. Oh, Mayday, Mayday. Oh, dropped straight onto the Quarrelers. Oof, what a visual. Jeff the Ref is getting a bit closer. Looks like he's having a look at what's going on here. It looks like he's turning around. I think he was looking at any potential rule breaking going on there, but it looks like he's satisfied with what he's seen. Flame Cannons are launching some more attacks here. Grudge Throwers are still alive and kicking. The Iron Drakes are now just, there we go. Not only are they creating a horrendous smell, but they're also making short work of these Dwarf Warriors. And it looks like Belegar's gamble has paid off. Most of Thorek's army is in the retreat, or is wishing that it wasn't here at all. They're getting shot to shit, burnt alive. A lot of artillery shots. We've got a lot of Quarrelers shots. We've got Rangers in there. Yeah, it's outside of Thorek and his Thane. There really isn't a lot left there, and it looks like Thorek himself has had enough. He's starting to break. He's on the retreat. He was never really had enough points value to really justify being able to bring the Anvil of Doom. That may have made a difference for him. But let's be fair, Thorek had a pretty good couple of rounds. He did well to get here to the final. Belegar just seemed to have... He had the tactical nous. He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was bringing to the fight. And although some of Thorek's units have started to... No, they did rally, but they have completely broken. And I think that's it. I think Jeff's going to call it in a second. I don't think there are any enemy forces left on the field. And there it is. Congratulations, Belegar Ironhammer, to go through the prelimination rounds. He has become the winner of this, and thus he will lead the Dwarves in the grand tournament of the Old World. I'm really interested in seeing what's going to happen with this. Those Iron Drakes, definitely MVP unit. Or MVU, I guess in this case, most valued unit. Definitely a force to be reckoned with. And I kind of feel sorry for whatever army's going to be arrayed against them, because I think anything against Iron Drakes is going to be really interesting, really dangerous to fight. But there are lots of other powerful units out there in the old world, monstrous units, magic attacks and all the rest, that could make a big difference. So we'll have to wait and see who they're going to be drawn against. But until then, have a good one everybody, and we'll see you for the next faction that goes up. I believe it's the Empire, not quite sure. Have to double check on that, but you'll see it when it arrives. And until then, have a good one. Thank you again. Bye bye.